So last time we talked about our image size, and I'm going to go ahead and for part 2 I'm going to make a new image. So right here I have all the ones that I've saved. So we talked last time how we can go here, go inches, let's do width is 10, height is 8. Remember, DPI is very important. I'm going to go high resolution for this, and I can hit create. So I just made this new artwork here. Whenever you make a new canvas, it's going to save it for you. So you can see I already have a 10 by 8 here, but I already have that saved right over here, so I'm not going to need that. You can just swipe. I could edit this, I could delete it, whatever the case might be. I'm going to swipe this one too. If you want to change the name of something, you swipe to the left, go edit, and up here you can change the name to whatever it is you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and select this one and delete. That deleted that one. I don't need that one. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. I'm going to go back to my untitled artwork. So we talked last time real quick about setting things up, our brushes, our smudging, erasing. I'm going to show you some drawing tips and tricks. I do not like drawing on a white background. One, it's too bright, and you can't add whites to your art. So I'm going to go ahead and just change my background color. I'm going to go here to my classic, and I'm going to go ahead and pick just like a medium to light gray, and then be done with it. Now I have a nice background color. I'm going to go ahead and simply sketch first. I'm going to use some of the sketching tools like the 6B pencil. I have some sketching colors that I like to sketch with. This kind of medium, like blue turquoise I like to sketch with. That's a little big. So a few things when drawing. One, obviously my size and scale is over here. Sometimes the pencils can be a little too small. So all I did was went to my pencil, clicked on it. If you go to properties, right here is my maximum size. I think the pencil was set to like nothing. So I just I was drawing the other night and I moved it up a little bit. So now my maximum size is going to be a little bigger. If I go to here and I go maximum size is this, my maximum size is cranked up over here. You can see it's a lot bigger. These pencils aren't made to be drawn really big, but sometimes I want some bigger, fatter lines. So this is one way to do that. Also, while I'm in here, a streamline is really important. So I'm going to turn the streamline down to nothing, and I'll show you what that looks like. Let me clear this. So here's my streamline of nothing. So you can see that my line follows my pen very precisely. So no stream. I'm going to go ahead and select my pencil again. I'm going to turn my streamline up to max. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw. So you can see that my line sort of has like a magnet attached to it, and Procreate does a pretty good job of trying to straighten out my curves. Now 100% is a little too extreme. I like about a 10 or 15 or whatever floats your boat. 10 or 15 just cleans up my lines enough where it gets rid of like my hand jitters or I might bump something and makes things just a little bit straighter. So layer 1, rename, sketch, there it is. So now I have my sketching surface. Not going to get crazy. Let's just go ahead and we'll just sketch out a tree. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to switch to an inking brush. Let's go inking. I like Tinderbox is kind of fun. I'm going to go black. Tinderbox is sort of just a scratchy-ish line. If you want something a little smoother, technical pen is going to be like a micron pen. Streamline is turned on pretty high with the technical pen. Dry ink is a fun one as well. Maybe use dry ink. I'll use dry ink. I like that one. No, I'm going to stick with my Tinderbox. I'm going to go ahead and quickly I don't like the thickness of those lines. Well, if you haven't noticed, if I draw something I don't like it, tapping with 2 fingers will undo, tapping with 3 fingers will redo. Or you can use these buttons over here for undo and redo. Now let's say I want to make one of these circles perfect. So this one here was a little janky. So I'm going to go ahead and undo. I want to make this one perfect. What you can do is you get to here and you hold, you'll see ellipse has been created, and now Procreate has gone ahead and made a better rounded shape for me. This works with circles. This works with squares. Works with triangles. Works with rectangles. I want to edit the shape. I can edit, and I can move these points around. If you ever use Adobe Illustrator, this is the same idea. I can get it back to a rectangle. I can make it a line. I can make it ellipse if I need to. Here's my polyline, which means many. We'll just do rectangle. And I can go ahead and adjust that. So that's really nice if you're trying to make perfectly geometric shapes. I'll leave those over there because we're going to need those later. And I want this to be perfect, so I'm going to wiggle and wobble my brush. I have a little mark over here. I have an Apple II pencil. I can double click on it. It turns into an eraser. Double click and it turns back to my pen. The Apple I pencil you cannot do that with. One of the more reasons why I like this one. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that all my shapes are closed off, which means I have a space, no space in between my shapes. I don't like that little tail there. There's a gap right here. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. This one overshoots. Erase. Back to my pencil. Not bad. This one here, whoa, undo. This one here needs to connect. This looks a little weird, but that's okay. So now I have my ink and I have my sketch. Now, filling in my colors. You can do this a few ways. One, I can go and just pick my color, drag and drop it into that shape. I'm going to pick the reddish brown, drag, drop into that shape. It'll fill in your colors. Same thing with these colors over here. I can drag and drop. Now, see what happened here? This shape is not closed, so Procreate thought to fill in the whole background. But these ones are definitely closed. There they are there. So that's one way to do it. I don't like doing that because now I've just ruined my ink layer, and now I have color inside my ink layer. I like to make sure that my things are separated. So I'm going to go ahead and undo all of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to call it flats. Those are my flat colors. I'm going to shove it underneath my ink. If I click on my layers on the left, I have some options over here. One is our reference layer. So now what Procreate's doing is Procreate's saying, hey, these shapes you want to refer to in the layer below. So let's go ahead and get that garish green. I am on my flats layer, but now I can drag this to my flats layer, and Procreate's going to use that reference layer as my shape. I'm going to turn reference off. So now I have ink and I have my flats. So let's go ahead and do also a background. I'm going to push and hold, move this down here. Let's get a fun paintbrush. I like stucco. Let's get a nice blue. Great. Make sure I see what I'm doing. Let's make this bigger. Make a nice sky. Let's pick not a garish green. We'll make it nice. Oops, it's a little big. So now that we have our background filled in, here's my background, there's my ink, there's my flats. So I'm going to add some dimension to my flats. But let's go ahead and get a darker green. Let's go ahead and get a soft airbrush. Oops. And now if I go ahead and start spraying on here, get that a little larger. If I start spraying, I'm going to overspray all over the background. So what you can do is go to Alpha Lock. Alpha Lock is going to turn your layer, have these little checkerboard pattern in the background. What you're going to do is you're going to lock anything that has the background. You're only going to be able to draw on the art that's on your screen. So I went ahead and took a darker green, turned the opacity down. Now what I can do with Alpha Lock is I can spray my airbrush I can add some value to my airbrush. It's going on my tree trunk a little bit, and that's okay. And it's not going on my background. Now that's a little crazy there, so I'm going to push and hold and select my green, push and hold and select my green. I'm going to go a little darker, smaller, and you can add some really cool things. I can actually get some texture in here. Let's go industrial, heavy metal. I can add some texture in here without any fear of messing up your background. Or background color, I should say. And let's go back to airbrushing. Let's go medium. Awesome, right? So pretty simple. But my alpha lock, I'm going to turn that off, allows me to add texture and value to my anything really on that layer without really affecting everything else. I can actually change my ink color too. So I go alpha lock, let's make my ink color something really crazy, like a bright, crazy orange or something. So you can tell. I got my medium airbrush, I'll make it big. And now I can go ahead and paint only over whatever is on that layer. So that's kind of cool. So that's some simple drawing stuff. Lesson number 3 very shortly.